What's up, guys? My name is Chaotic. Back at you guys a little bit today. Going at you guys with a video about breaking through on DMT. Or so I thought. Yes. So basically, you know how they say you think you broke through on DMT and you really haven't most of the time because what you actually think happened didn't happen. The actual true breaking through on DMT, apparently, you have to actually not even remember breaking through, basically. I mean, you'll remember up to the point, but you're supposed to not remember that you broke through. That's how you actually break through on DMT, you know? So I know I didn't fully get the effect that I wanted because I didn't fully forget my ego, right? So I didn't have an ego loss. I'm gonna get into that in this video, and I hope it is entertaining for y'all, and hope you guys stay hot, stay lifted, and most of all, yeah, smoking up, man. So let's get started. This day, you know, this is about 2017, actually. Wow, it's 6 years ago. It's crazy. Time goes by fast. Anyway, so I started out this day of, I acquired some DMT, you know, from the interwebs. I was, you know, fixing to fucking use the shit. So I had a, it was a weed vaporizer. This weed vaporizer, it had a chamber in it, you know, and I was like, if I could use this for weed to vape it, I know I could use this for anything else that could be vaped. So I, you know, no-brained it. And I put some DMT up in that chamber, capped it, and I was ready to smoke it later on. So basically, I was preparing for, yeah, a crazy trip. I didn't know it was going to be this intense. So, yeah, basically, this is my first and probably only time I ever broke through this much on DMT. Now, I say I broke through. Throughout the video, I'm going to contradict myself because I don't really know if I broke through or not. It's really strange because I was looking at myself in the mirror and I still remembered who I was somehow. And, you know, I assume you have to completely have full-on ego loss, full ego trip, you know, but it didn't happen to me. So either that means I'm so attached to my ego or I just didn't do enough. But I did enough because of what I saw. And it made me stop hitting it because I thought I was breaking through, you know? That's the strangest part about DMT. I hit that shit 3 times. Man, I was still on the edge of breaking through. I didn't even break through all the way. So yeah, let me get into how this trip started. So, you know, like I said previously in the video, I capped that DMT to a chamber of this weed vaporizer. Forgot what brand it was. It was a little cheap ass $30 thing. And, you know, I was like ready to hit this shit. So put that stuff in there. I start heating it up. You know, I start smelling a little bit of that shoebox smell. Like, it already has a new shoe smell. So when you burn it, it smells like burnt shoes. Really strange. Or burnt plastic. Either one. Anyways, I started fucking heating up that chamber. And my ass was funny. So I went in the bathroom, right? And I was looking in the mirror the whole time. I start hitting this fucking Deems, you know, in the mirror. And I was just looking at myself. I was trying to see if I could see my, you know, face change and crazy shit. I ended up seeing something crazier. So I'm there. I'm starting to hit it, you know. It's going. You know, I could taste a little bit of it, you know, at this point of inhaling it. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like ready to, you know, trip out. It starts hitting me within fucking a minute or two, or basically less than 30 seconds at that point. But a minute or two it takes to fully kick in. And I'm just staring at myself in the mirror. And I keep hitting it, right? So as I'm hitting it, I keep hitting it, and I close my eyes. No fucking lie, I saw like, obviously like a projection, because I could see like a reflection of the mirror when I closed my eyes, because it was a bright light. So it was reflecting in my eyes, so I could see the after image when I closed my eyes. And boy, was that after image really trippy. So after the first or second inhale, I start feeling the effects, and the fucking mirror starts stretching outwards, right? So like as I close my eyes, it looked like a freaking, like, you know how like you see, if you put your phone camera next to it, like viewing another camera, like on another camera screen, it'll like create an endless loop of screens. That's exactly what it looked like when I closed my eyes. So the DMT like created like an endless loop of my after image of that mirror, and it looked like I was seeing different layers of like reality, mirrors of reality. It was weird as hell. And then not long after that, I take that third hit, right? Oh, this is where shit goes nuts. You know, at this point, I start seeing colors. After I see the after images duplicate like infinitely, I see these colors creep in, and I'm just like, oh shit, here we go. And then all of a sudden, no lie, man, like I started seeing like, strings of hieroglyphic symbols, and the hieroglyphic symbols started like teaching me how language was made. It actually like literally converted, like there's hieroglyphic symbols, and then it said there's like equal sign, showed the English translation for me of what it meant. And then vice versa, it was teaching me language was created from hieroglyphic symbols. Man, I had like a crazy awakening. I was like, holy shit, that makes so much sense. Language was actually, if they made language from these trips, man, that shows why there's hieroglyphic symbols. I was seeing the exact same hieroglyphic symbols that you see in nature. I mean, it's not nature, but man-made structures, okay? That's how you know these motherfuckers were tripping on this shit, and they started creating sculptures and then started engraving what they saw, the hieroglyphic symbols, and then they must have converted hieroglyphic symbols into language eventually from these trips. So it's almost, basically this trip proved to me, I broke through so hard that it proved to me how language is created, where we started from. It was just nuts, okay? I didn't see no fucking weird gestures or clowns, but basically I was seeing our civilization being created in a trip, all in 15 minutes. So it was so much information to take in. It was nuts, okay? So I'm sitting there, keep in mind, this whole time I'm seeing all of these symbols and all this crazy shit and like things getting translated and numbers. I'm even seeing numbers and colors and that infinite mirror, infinite dimensions almost at this point. And I'm just sitting there. I mean, not sitting, I'm standing there right next to the mirror. But I'm closing my eyes the whole time. And then I look in the mirror and then I close my eyes. And then all of a sudden, yeah, the mirror thing comes back. Oh shit, dude. And everything around me is the most natural, realistic looking visuals I could ever see. It's just really hard to explain. Everything felt it looked wishy-washy. It looked claymation. It's like I could see the definition of things. It's really interesting. So I also thought, basically I think I broke through because I had no concept of time at this point. And you need an ego to have a concept of time. So some of my ego was destroyed, okay? I guess I didn't have a full-on ego death, right? You could say. But I definitely had an ego death up until I had parts of my ego slaughtered, definitely. I saw the way language is created. I saw these symbols. I swear I was thinking some weird, like, it was making sense to me. Everything was making sense to me, obviously, like it would on this trip. But anyways, I opened the door and I'm still tripping, I'm like feeling a door like I've never felt a door before. I'm like looking at the door. This is interesting. The most mundane things are interesting to me at this point. And the door just felt so weird. I just could feel like the paint and like the atoms. I could feel like the atoms inside of the paint and on the door. I could just feel how hard the atoms were, because when an object is solid, the atoms don't vibrate. It's just like I could almost feel the atoms just rock hard. I don't know, it's really weird. And like after, I don't even know how much time went by at this point. I think it was, well over 15 minutes and I was still feeling some effects. I went back in my room. Everything was just all strobe light colored and like wishy-washy, tie-dye looking claymation kind of visuals. It was really weird. Definitely DMT. It was NN DMT and it was a yellow batch. It was that yellow DMT. That stuff's pretty strong. So is white DMT. But anyways, yeah, I guess it's just a difference in how they synthesize, or I guess what alkaloids are left over. I think that's what changes the color of the DMT because it does come from a plant. So yeah, interesting type of night, man. I would say I definitely broke through, but I'm just leaving it up there because if I ever choose to break through for real, definitely gonna make a video about it. But I was just, going over basically the time that I did the most DMT. This is the most DMT I've done, like in one sitting, and the hardest I've tripped on it. Ever since then, I thought I had a breakthrough, so like really there's no point in me trying that stuff. I only have 5-MeO DMT, and I'm not even doing that. That shit scares me, by the way. It's synthetic, but you really gotta watch yourself with that shit. And 5-MeO DMT is it's a lot more darker and eerie, I guess you could say. Not that's a bad thing, but you can have a bad trip easier because of the headspace. So NN DMT is better for euphoria. It's a lot better for the headspace too. You're less likely to, I guess, have a bad time, but it's very strong psychedelic. It's not for the faint of heart, man. Please don't ever do it to your first time. Work your way up. I worked my way up. I did acid was my first, acid and then shrooms and then DMT. I just worked my way up, So take that route, for harm reduction to safety. And please don't take DMT your first time. If it's your first time taking a psychedelic, that's not a good idea. If you have someone knowledgeable, if you're going to do it anyway, take a low dose, okay? Someone's always going to do it anyway. Just take a low dose and have a TripSitter. All you got to do, okay? But yeah, man, so this time I thought I broke through, or so I thought. Honestly, I definitely broke through. I'm going to just leave it up there, like I said. Leave it up to the comments. If you guys want to comment, did I break through? Did I not? Let me know. All right, hope you guys stay high, stay lifted. You know how that saying goes. Hope you guys will have a fun wherever you are, and, stay tuned to the next video. Peace.